Hi everyone, it's Gia. Today I just wanted to talk about consumerism and this endless cycle that we just put ourselves in time after time, day after day, like basically for our entire lives. Like that is what the majority of our society does. We get locked into this consumerist mindset where we have to have more and more stuff, buy more and more things, get into debt over these things that we can't afford in the first place, and then end up paying off these debts until we die, basically. Housing. You buy a house, unless you've got the cash somehow up front, you're going to have a mortgage. You're going to go into debt for years and years and years and years until you pay off this debt. And the interest just accumulates, so you end up paying more for the house than it's even worth in the first place. And cars, like just anything you can think of, student loans, university fees, that sort of a thing. If people can get into debt over something, a lot of people will. Not by choice, but we are told by society, you need to go to university, you need to own a house, you need to own this really nice, flashy, expensive car. And it's all stuff that we're told we need. You know, you need to have a degree to get a high-paying job. A high-paying job means you can buy more stuff. You may not like the job you're in. You may actually despise it, but hey, it pays well and you can afford a nice flashy house and a nice flashy car and all the little trinkets and everything else that you think is going to make you happy. But what happens is you dedicate more and more time in your life to making this money, to buy these things. And time spent with family and friends and loved ones just kind of goes on the back burner because you are so fixated on making all of this money. You know, if you think about it, the majority of people spend most of their lives at work. Let's say you work a normal 9 to 5 job, 5 days a week. How much free time does that give you to spend time with the people you love? And even doing self-care things for yourself. Not a lot of time, 2 days a week, on a weekend. That's your time. Like you are literally selling your time to make this money for these things. That's the trade-off. It's mind-boggling to me why, I don't know, more people don't realise this sooner, or they just accept it that, you know, that's their lot in life, that's what everyone else does. You should do that too. Makes sense, right? You don't want to go against the grain because that's a risk, and that can be really, really scary. Like when I quit my job early this year. God, it's been a whole year nearly, that's crazy. And went on this journey. Like, it was scary. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had no idea. But financially, I've been fine. I've done a few little, business side hustles that I can do in my own time. I'm my own boss. And that to me was really important, that I could choose when I wanted to work and how much money I realistically needed. How much of my time was I willing to give up for financial gain? And how much did I just want for, doing things that I really, really enjoyed? And that was the trade-off for me, was finding stuff I did enjoy doing and make some money off of it, but then also having the majority of my week available for me to do what I wanted. And don't get me wrong, people still give me crap for it every now and again, but also a lot of people are really, really supportive. When I first quit my job, people thought I was crazy. They're going, okay, so when are you going to get another job? When are you going to go do this? And, first couple of months especially were very, very stressful because, I didn't know where my money was going to come from. And, I still had bills to pay, rent, food, all these things. And, I just hoped I'd land on my feet. But once you get into this rhythm, of a new sort of way of living, once you kind of get a routine and structure, which is so, so important. You can't just leave your job and then just do nothing. People are not designed to do nothing. We are made to be productive. We are made to seek purpose and meaning in our lives. Sitting on the couch, watching TV all day, every day, year after year, that's not going to make you feel very productive. So it's very important to find something that is meaningful to you. So one of the reasons that I was able to quit my job and just do little things to make me enough money to afford my bills and put a bit away every week one of the main contributors to that was accepting that I did not want to live a consumerist lifestyle anymore. I didn't like the incessant buying of things. The urge to consume is so ingrained in our society. You know, the newest phone comes out, you gotta buy that. The newest runway look comes out, gotta buy that. And these are all massive, massive amounts that rack up over time. Like, it's not just, you know, big ticket items like a house and a car and that sort of a thing. It's the little small things that accumulate so quickly and just eats your money away. It's insane, like, how ingrained in our society it is. It's like we're trying to fill this void in ourselves with stuff. And we're getting that dopamine from purchasing that item. I think it's actually more so, it's the lead up to the purchase of the item, the excitement, you know, let's take clothing for example, oh yeah, and I'm going to wear this here, I'm going to wear this here, I'm going to wear it to this event, and you have this fantasy in your head about what that item is going to do for you, and where you're going to wear it, what you're going to do with it. And then you get it, and it sits in your closet, unworn, for years. You need to buy for what your lifestyle is. And a lot of us don't do that. A lot of us buy for our fantasy selves. Our fantasy selves can have all these lovely clothes that we never touch because it's not our lifestyle. But it might be, and that's why we hang on to them. So it is very much having to train your brain away from this idealized version of ourselves and accept where we are in life right now. Accept our current reality. If we want to change that, we need to physically change that and then incorporate those things into our lives if that's what we want. But high chance it's just not realistic, and we're then spending all this money on all these things that we're not actually using. Our fantasy self is in our heads, but in reality, imagine it in your head. Fantasy self can have this imaginary dress in our head. Keep it in there. You don't have to physically purchase it. Training ourselves out of that consumerist mindset and into more of a simplicity-centered sort of mindset can be a massive adjustment, especially if you are used to that hustle and bustle of the consumerist lifestyle of get that paycheck, spend it as quickly as possible, wait for the next one to come in, get more stuff, until you're packed to the rafters with stuff. Because the more stuff you have, the more room you need. And realistically, humans don't need a lot of room. Like, we don't. We are very adaptable creatures. And we can live pretty much anywhere. Like, for example, when I was a teenager, my parents and my sister and I went on the road for a year. We went around Australia in a motorhome that a friend lent us for a year, which was incredibly nice of them. And I think it was a 33-foot Winnebago, which is big for a motorhome, but it's also for four, I think me and my sister were still teenagers, but nearly adults. So basically 4 adults in a cramped space was a massive adjustment, but at the same time, we surprised ourselves with how quickly we got used to such a small space for 4 people crammed in a bus. And it really, showed us that, oh wow, okay, we have adjusted very quickly to this much smaller living area. And with that as well, we also had to really nitpick what we were going to take on the road with us, because there wasn't much room. Like, the storage spaces were tiny, and you're packing for 4 people. It's all their stuff, trying to cramp it in 33 feet, which was quite difficult until we realised, okay, this is working. I have all the stuff that I need. I have my favourite things, and everything else we kind of forgot about. Like, there were a few things we'd be on the road and be like, oh god, I wish I had this with me right now. And it wasn't there, but for the majority of the time, we made do with what we did have, and we got creative with the utensils and things we did have. Stuff doubled as other stuff. So, it was good to be creative. It really made us think outside the box with things. And I think that's how society is going to have to go, especially if you reject this whole consumerist mentality. I need to be creative, because with housing prices soaring, realistically, unless I did dedicate years and years and years and years of my life to full-time, high-end sort of earning work, I'm not going to be able to afford a conventional house. And I don't want to dedicate, if I'm honest, I do not want to dedicate years and years and years of my life to working to pay off a house. Like, that to me does not feel worth it. So for me, I'm having to be creative. I'm going, okay, well, what can I afford right now? If I had to leave this place tomorrow and I don't want to rent, what do I have enough for in savings? What could I outright buy on the spot and not owe money to anyone? And that got me thinking, you know, I could move back into a caravan with just me. It's small space, but I know I can do it because I've lived in the same kind of small space with 3 other people. So that's an option. And secondhand caravans and stuff you can get very, very cheap. Of course, then there is the issue of where would I stick that caravan on? But at the same time, I think that they're, you know, you could be family friends with somebody who has some land. You could have family who owns land, friends who own land, that sort of a thing. And, you know, pay them a small fee to rent that land, like small piece of land. So you're still paying someone something, but you're not paying anywhere near the degree that you would, you know, if you were renting, like conventional renting. And you are owning your own, you know, structure that you're living in. Another thing, you know, tiny homes, that's something else I've been looking into. Just those sort of non-conventional kind of places that you can live in. Would I want my own house? Like, if I could outright afford one? I mean, yeah. But realistically, I need to look at my situation and go, okay, unless I win the lottery tomorrow, or I somehow want to work for the next, 20, 30 years to pay this mortgage off, it's not worth it to me. We need to get back to basics. Just strip everything down and get back to nature, back to community, back to our humanity, what we are meant to be. Because we are so far removed from who we are meant to be as people, as a society. I don't know, it's something innate in us, I think, as people, where we just want that simplicity. We want to feel the connections and vibrations of nature and earth, and just, yeah. And once you're in it, you know what I mean. Like, you can feel it. Like, it feels like the energy's rising up through you. You feel connected. You feel nurtured. Your soul feels just at peace. It feels happy. And honestly, that's just where I want to go. Like, once you have that taste of it and you realize that stuff, that void of filling it with stuff is not cutting it anymore, and it never will cut it. That's when you have that realization that I need to go back to this simplicity, go against the grain, and get immersed back in that wonderful, wonderful nature and that sense of community and belonging to something positive in our lives. And that consumerist cycle, it just goes round. It will never, ever, ever stop. Ever. Until we break the cycle, basically. Sorry if this video was a bit rambly. It was a little bit spur of the moment, on the spot sort of a video. But I just kind of wanted to get out my thoughts on this subject because, yeah, I just felt like it was important to do so. And also, thank you so much. I just checked my statistics and views and subscriber count. From the last time I checked, my channel kind of has gotten a lot larger than I realised. I looked at it and went, oh, okay. So thank you so much. I was not expecting this. This is my second channel. I have an ASMR channel, and I did not expect this one to really kind of get any real traction. I don't know why. I just kind of thought, it's a kind of a niche audience, so I don't know. But thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching my videos and subscribing. And yeah, I'm curious to see where this channel goes. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.